Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you'll find a description of the day's astrology as I've spelled it out here. Here I'll discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I will play another card that, in the context of the day's astrology, may just give us something more to think about. So, let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Five of Swords, and it's here because it corresponds in astrology with the first 5 days, or the first 10 days, or the first decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. Swords in Tarot represent air element symbolism, and air element symbolism has to do with the rationale and the intellect. The things that we think, the things that we plan, and sort of how we carry out our plans, and also how we communicate with others, okay, how we share information, data, all sorts of things. So we come to the Five of Swords, and we see, a person who appears to have won a victory. Notice this person is holding 3 swords, which is probably more than they can possibly wield on their own. While the 2 people in the distance look like they've been disarmed and they're looking a little dejected about it. So if you think about the swords as thoughts, plans, and communications, then you understand that this is a person who has all of the best ideas, all of the best plans, all of the best arguments for why things should go their way. And they're not really taking any input from others at this time, right? So there's an element to this that's about unbridled ambition. Sort of a desire to win at all costs, being able to win any argument, either because you know your subject very well, or you just sort of know what to say to shut other people up, right? And we can be a little sneaky with this. We can make a sneak attack. We can surprise people with our ideas, or we can sort of wait for people to come to us for collaboration before they find out that we're not really collaborating, right? So the victory that comes about with a conversation like this, where we're not taking input, it comes with a subtle consequence, and that's that by being completely right all the time, and by eliminating any perceived competition for being the person with the best idea or the best plan, we can create resentment in those people that have been trying to work with us, and then we isolate ourselves from potential collaborators. So that is the caveat to winning at all costs. That's the problem that comes along with unbridled ambition, where we can't really take anybody's input and we have to sort of be the expert on everything, is that often we just find ourselves alone, like, okay, well, you're not collaborating, so we're going to go collaborate and you can do your thing on your own. And with us, I'm going to turn this card over. Oh, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the Queen of Cups, queens are queens represent mastery of their suit, and cups in Tarot are water element symbolism. It's very much about the emotion and the intuition, how things feel, and what sort of questions arise when we have feelings, what sort of intuitive knowing arises as well. And so the Queen of Cups represents mastery of the sort of emotional and intuitive faculty. She's a little bit, to me, like a high priestess even. So we see the water sort of lapping at her feet. She sits on dry ground, but she allows the emotions and the intuition and the intuitive the intuitive space to touch her, right? She's got her feet there in the emotions. She can feel what needs to be felt, but she's also seated on dry ground. So there's a certain rationality that has to come along with the Queen of Cups. So sort of, practicality that comes along with this emotion and intuition. And, mastery of emotion is really very much about that. It's, mastering the emotions is really very much about being able to apply rationality, being able to apply like an acceptance of what the truth is in this moment, being practical, understanding, really what is without blowing it out of proportion because of our emotional state. And also, being accepting of things as they are, and understanding the practical next step. Okay, so we have to keep our strictly logical brains on while we allow ourselves to feel our emotions, and then hopefully what we can do is sort of lead from that space in between where we are definitely mindful of how people feel around us. We're definitely mindful of the connection of all people. And we can use that, we can keep that in mind as we are making rulings, as we are leading people, because the Queen of Cups is a leader of people. She doesn't do what she does just for herself. She does it for the people that she rules. So it's there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a leader of people, and so we need to be responsibly in touch with our emotions and our intuitive faculty. And when I say responsibly and in touch with it, that means, we don't allow the emotions to actually rule the day. We allow them to add inflection to the rational approaches that we take to things. Where do we see the Queen of Cups on the page? And I say that about emotions. I'm also talking about the intuitive faculty. I love the way the Queen is very intent on her cup. It's as though she's like reading tea leaves, or sort of scrying on that surface of water. Really, definitely sort of looking into the depths while she considers what her next move is. So the Queen of Cups here on the page. Definitely, I would go to the moon. The moon is at a first quarter play in its first quarter today, which means it's that half lit. The sun is square to the moon. It creates that half lit moon, and it indicates that we are one quarter gone in our creative cycle. Okay, so we've used up the week that was dedicated to planning, to setting intentions, to creating goals for ourselves, to thinking about how we're going to execute those goals. And today's the day when we pause and we shift gears into taking action to unfold some of those goals, right? We have to get sort of out of our imaginations and off of our wish lists and into the real realm of taking action to culminate those goals and intentions that we have set. Also, I would point to the Queen of Cups. Let's see here. Venus is in Pisces, and so is Neptune. Okay, so Pisces is a very cups kind of oriented card. It's very watery. It's oceanic. It's sort of it's sort of the big water. It's the depths of water, and it sort of lacks boundaries, right? So things sort of travel freely in the land of Pisces. Pisces is the end of a cycle. We go Aries through Pisces and then we start over again. So it's a time of reflection, and it's a time of sort of relaxation, and it's also just a time of like feeling our connections to ourselves, our connections to others, our connections to spirit, and also to our creative self, and also to our own intuitive self as well. So Venus in Pisces, that's about what we like, love, and can't get enough of. It's about how we attract what we love. And Venus in Pisces can be a little bit lacking in boundaries. It can sort of forget why it put its boundaries in place. It's a good thing to remember, to recall your boundaries, and especially try to stick to them during Venus in Pisces, because really we can wind up making mistakes that we've made before. On the other hand, we're very open, we're very imaginative, we're very interested in connection with all sorts of people, places, and things when Venus is in Pisces. Neptune has been in Pisces for some time, and Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. So this is very much about our creativity, our imagination, our sense of faith in something that is bigger than us, that is something that we feel, right? Something that is an emotion, but it's also something underneath an emotion that's really more like our connection to our deeper hidden self being also our connection to spirit, right? As above, so below. So, you know, it's a very creative time when Neptune is in Pisces. A time I would say that we probably struggle with creating and holding boundaries anyway. But also a great time to be investigating our relationship to faith, our relationship to spirit, our relationship to creativity. However you define that, you know, creativity can be, you know, a sexual act. Creativity can be an artistic act. Creativity can also just be, you know, an act to garner security and support in our lives. So there are all sorts of ways that can apply to us. But really, definitely, we're in a very boundaryless place when it comes to our hearts, when it comes to, you know, in terms of what we love and how we feel that love, and in terms of simply our feeling of connection to everything that is, right? So with that said, I'm going to put these together. The Five of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Now that's interesting. This person is very focused on their victory, right? And this person is very focused on how it feels inside, right? So this person is probably not very focused on how they feel. They're really more focused on, you know, having the right argument all the time, being able to spit out the right words all the time, and how victorious that makes them feel, right? How winning, how winning they feel, right? And this person is really looking more into the depths of it, right? This person probably has a deeper realization that, you know, when we win at all costs like this, that we kind of isolate ourselves. And I would say that this person, you know, would sort of understand that sense of isolation and how sometimes it is important to isolate ourselves, but also that, you know, our sense of connection to other people is very important to us. More important, perhaps, than we realize when we're in this mode of being. Okay, so the good news is, you know, when you have failed to collaborate, when you haven't taken input, when you've sort of been a sore winner, and you've you know, or, you know, sort of just reacted in a way that causes you to come out on top in every conversation. There's a way to put a stop to it. You can just say, no, I really want to hear what other people have to say. I want to take their input, and I want to work together with other people, right? And Queen of Cups is saying it's definitely about your connections, okay? And it's definitely about not letting your emotions overwhelm your rationale, right? So if your emotion is impatience, if your emotion is, you know, this desire to win at all cost, if your emotion is like, nobody can best me at this, right? That sort of victorious emotion. It's a little bit arrogant, right? But it's like, I'm the best at this, right? It's a let's say an overweening pride in our ability to win a conversation, or an overweening pride in our ability to create such a masterful plan that nobody can compete with us at all, right? So, you know, the connection with other people is more important than the pride. And honestly, if we don't let the pride overcome us, then rationally we will know that it would be better to be collaborating with these people than to be competing and combative with them. Oh yeah, that one just came out, right? Okay, I think that's all I have to say about it. I appreciate you all for being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.